How did the offensive line allow you to have the night you did?
Um, they just came out there with the right mindset, dominate. We put in a lot of hours into this, so it felt good going out there and showing it.
What specifically did you see tonight that allowed you to go off like that?
Really just the O-line, Trinidad. We just get all our energy from each other, push one another, and just try to go 1-0.
Your head coach praised the environment tonight. When y'all walked out or ran onto the field tonight, what did you see from a crowd standpoint, from an atmosphere standpoint?
It was amazing. I wish I could see that every game. Fans coming out there with great energy. It just motivates us. Give us an extra little push and boost.
What do you think was your best run tonight?
Best one, I gotta go watch film and see.
Without watching film, you got to guess?
I guess I could say the 3rd and 5 before second half. I believe that was a good one. Should have scored.
Now, at the end with the student section, you and Lane were celebrating. Just kind of what was that moment like with the bond that you and the students have kind of created over these past few games?
It's great. Anytime you can have that connection with your fans. I'm just happy. I'm at a place where everybody believes in me, coaches, students. So it's great.
Trailing at half, what was kind of I guess, a message or maybe the vibe in the locker room before the second half? Just you guys trailing at halftime, just what was the message in the locker room?
We come out there with the same mindset every game. If we're losing or winning, just go out there like it's 0-0 and just, play the next play.
Kewan, do we give you credit for the belts? I feel like you're kind of the primary engine behind all that. But how'd that start? Is that you? Do you get credit?
It's just, I guess it just happened, But, yeah.
Follow up there, though. How many belts have you accumulated? Like, how many have you gotten since doing that celebration?
I'll probably get one, every game.
Yeah, following up on an earlier question, when you and Lane were walking down towards the student section, it looked like you were kind of getting emotional, and he said something to you. What did he say in that moment, and then what were your emotions like in that moment?
He was just saying he's proud of me, and I was just thanking him for the opportunity and just trusting and believing in me.
Ole Miss recruited you heavily coming out of high school, and I know you went to Missouri, ended up transferring to Ole Miss. Personally, how does it feel to come in, work as hard as you have, and be given the opportunities to be the starting running back this season and develop some historic numbers like, taking care of the single-season rushing touchdown record?
Like I just said, it comes with, having a support system like my coaches, just trusting and believing me, just coming in here, putting in long hours, watching film with my coaches, going through walkthroughs. It's just a great feeling just coming out here and just showing what I got to do and having the ability with my O-line and the receivers and all my weapons to, show it out there and go 1-0.
Kewan, how deflating is it when you drive 74 yards and leave it on the 1-yard line?
I wish I could have that back, but, whatever it takes for the win. I chalk it up to my O-line. They motivate me the most. They tell me, just keep running. And they just give me an extra boost just to, try to go 1-0 each week.
20 carries a week, how does your body feel? That's how it feels, at least.
I feel great. Just sticking to my regimen, treatment, staying healthy.
Kewan, you broke 2 school records tonight up here. You broke 2 school records tonight, single season touchdowns and all-purpose touchdowns. Just to have an impact in such a short time of you being here, to have such a major impact, how has it been for you, and how do you see yourself really kind of taking this offense to another level?
It's been great, coming in with a lot of portal guys. We're all trying to build a bond, but it's been great just, building that bond with each other and going out there and executing every day because, we put in a lot of hours into this, so. It's just very fun.
And I guess following up on that, what was your reaction? I mean, when you realized that you had the records, I know you knew they were coming, but like to have it done, like what does that mean to etch your name into Ole Miss history?
It felt great. I put in a lot of work. Even when I'm a little kid, but I was still focused on the win, trying to get the win.
Coming into the season, did you kind of envision this season for yourself, or have you kind of surprised yourself a little bit?
I feel I just give it all to God. God has what he has in store for me, so I just give it all to him, and whatever he gives me, I thank him for it. Thank y'all.